I'm Andrew with Outdoor Water Solutions. Today we're going to be putting together a small backyard galvanized windmill. First off, when you get your unit, go ahead and unbox everything, lay everything out on the table to make sure you have everything that is supposed to come with the kit. On the first page of your instructions, you're going to have a page content. Go through and make sure everything is there. You will notice that you will have two sets of tower legs that are very similar. They are different. One of them will have 6 holes, as you see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are going to be your top legs. So when you separate out, make sure you do keep those separately from everything else. All right, after you make sure everything is there, we're going to start with our tower cone here. This piece here. We're going to be putting on one leg at a time on this. Go ahead and set it in there. We're going to go ahead and grab our 6mm by 12mm bolt along with a washer. That is what we're going to be attaching this with. And when you do put these on there, do not tighten them up all the way. Keep them loose because you will need them loose throughout the build. At the very end, we will go back and we will retighten everything. This allows us to give the play to put everything together properly. All right, for this next section, we're going to be doing our bottom portion of the legs along with the bracing. You do have 2 different hole selections on your bottom leg. You have a normal round hole here, then you have an oblong hole. The oblong needs to go on the bottom. When you do place your 2 legs together, make sure that your top leg goes on top of the bottom leg for rain shed so you do not collect rainwater under there, and it helps prevent rust. Again, we're going to be using the 6mm by 12mm with the 6mm washer. And then we're also going to be taking our cross brace section. You do have 2 longer pieces. The longer pieces will go to the bottom where the top pieces will go to the top. All right, after you get the cross bracing done, that'll complete the middle section of your tower, and we are ready to start working on the bottom of the tower here. The bottom of the tower is going to be very similar to the middle cross section up here. It's just going to be a little bit bigger. We're also going to be adding our feet onto here, another addition onto the bottom. With this one here, we are going to be using the 6mm by 20 bolts. And do note here on your L bracket, you do have an eye bolt here. Make sure to take your bolt all the way to the bottom, give you a maximum amount of room to be able to move. Temporarily put your brace into there. Go ahead and grab one of your feet and make sure everything goes through. When putting it together, be sure that you do not put both turnbuckles on the same leg. Make sure they are opposite on your legs. All right, at this point, our whole unit is together. Everything is at hand tight. We're going to go ahead and stand the unit up. And we're going to install the maintenance stand. All right, with the maintenance stand, it's going to be the easiest part of this whole build. Take your stand, put it over the top. Your holes will line up almost perfectly right here. You're going to take your 6mm by 20mm bolt along with the 6mm nut. Goes right into the bottom right here. Again, we are only going to go hand tight on these at this point in time. All right, at this point in time, that is the completion of the construction of the tower. At this point, you can go back and tighten up every screw. I suggest going from the top to the bottom of the unit. All right, after you have your cross bracing tight, go ahead and tighten up your eyelet nut here. After you have that complete, go ahead and take your lock washer on down to your L bracket and get a little small turn. After you complete all 4 of those, that is the completion of the tower. All right, now we are going to tackle our head connection bracket with our fan. You'll need your head connection bracket, your bearing nest, your bearing hubcap, the 3 bolts that go with it, your tail fin, the bolts that go with that, your pivot tube, and your tail. First off, we're going to take our tail here. Go ahead and lay just right inside your pole for that. If you see, the pole just reaches very barely past the bolt holes here. Take a plate, go ahead and line it up on top of there. Then you're going to take your 6mm by 20mm bolts with your 6mm nut right through the sides. When putting them on, do opposite sides to opposite side. If you do want your tail fin closer to your fan, you can move this up and down as you would like. All right, after you have your tail mounted on, we're going to go ahead and move on to our head connection bracket here. Go ahead and leave it laying on a flat surface, put it together there. You will need a backup on this. It'll be a 10mm. Put the 10mm on your bolt on the bottom and go ahead and crank down that 6mm nut. After you have that done there, go ahead and take your pivot tube. It inserts right in the bottom in between the 3 bolts on here. Again, you're going to need to hold back up on these to make sure that they get the proper tightness. So after you have your head connection bracket completed with your pivot tube and your fan arm, we're going to go ahead and move to the fan. On your head connection bracket, go ahead and take your bearing nest, slide it on. Then we're going to go ahead and take our bearing, and we're going to go ahead and slide our bearing on. It will fit all the way to the back here. It is a shouldered bearing, so do make sure that your shoulder is to the rear of the fan here. Go ahead and slide it all the way back. Go ahead and tighten up that set screw. After you have the set screw tight, let's go ahead and take it, set it on the ground, hold the tail with your feet here. We're going to take our fan. If you look on your fan here, you do have a convex and a concave piece. The convex will go to the top, so your concave, which is your inner side, will go to the back of the fan towards your tail. And it will sit on such as this. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and take our nylocker nut, we're going to go ahead and put it on our shaft here. Go ahead and take your hubcap here and set it on the very top here and line up your holes. After your holes are lined up, go ahead and take your bearing nest up to the back. Again, we're going to line up our holes. And we're going to take our bolts that came out of it, and we're going to put them through. We're only going to put one bolt through because we're going to turn the others around and put them down the other side so it's more aesthetically pleasing. After you have your other two in, don't forget to flip that first one around. After you have them all on, go ahead and tighten them up. All right, after you have that complete, we are ready to go ahead and take our fan assembly unit to put it onto our tower. Go ahead and take your pivot tube ring washer and go ahead and stick it on your pivot tube here. This is a little tricky. Go ahead and take your tower, bring it down, and slide your pivot tube directly in, stand it up, stake it down with your rebar wherever you would like it, and you have completed your galvanized windmill. All right, thank you for joining me on the construction of a small galvanized backyard windmill. Now you see it does come in our galvanized silver. We do offer several different color and color combinations for all of our fans and towers that you can find on our website at outdoorwatersolutions.com. If you have any questions or concerns or anything about this videos, please reach out to us through our website. Thank you and have an amazing day.